Hello and welcome to my channel 7 Scales. In today's video, I'll be making the gunship from Avatar movies. First of all, I know I haven't been posting videos for almost half a year, so I'm really surprised to see new subscribers every now and then. I'm also super grateful for everyone bought one of my STL files. I wanted to make this video to say thanks to all of you, and in spirit of Christmas, I'm releasing this model for free. If you're a new viewer, a sub would be awesome. To get the files, you just have to create an account on my blog. And don't worry about spam, because I never send any emails unless I need to reply to a question. The file will be free until New Year, so go grab it before that. The C-21 Dragon assault ship is a massive VTOL gunship and a troop transport craft. You can already see from the exterior it's armed to the teeth with cannons, rockets and missiles. It has a massive bay that opens from the bottom, which allows it to carry 10 AMP suits and deploy them on battlefields. The Dragon assault ship is a pretty big craft at 43 meters in length, but put it next to the Valkyrie shuttle, it really shows how big the shuttle is. I think the most unique feature of this craft is the dual cockpit. I believe the center one is used for weapon systems and the off-center one for piloting and communications. I also really love the way the main engine sits high above the fuselage, giving it a really menacing look. I really feel this design would never look this good without the tall engines. I think it's a very nice touch from its designer Ryan Church. This model is a very small model, about 10 cm in length and 8 cm wide, but it's very detailed. It has landing gears, all the missiles and rocket pods. It even has a very basic cockpit. I remember reading a comment pointing out that my models have really heavy and overscaled panel lines. I totally agree, so I tried to dial it down a bit in this model. Compared to the Valkyrie shuttle, it's pretty subtle, and I would love to hear more feedbacks. But in general, I prefer to have overscaled panel lines in smaller models. I think it's just something I inherited from making 1 to 700 scale ships, where a lot of stuff like handrails are overscaled, but it makes the model looks a lot more interesting in my opinion. I made this model in just 5 days. It took about 26 hours to make the 3D models and another 8 hours to build it. I was a bit worried I'm out of practice, but I think it turned out to be one of the best STL files I've made. I must state, this model is not movie accurate. As you can see from the time-lapse, I basically eyeballed everything until it looked right. Other than movie references, I often used a digital render made by Michael Todd, who was the 3D artist that made the actual CG version of the ship. Speaking of the movie, I'm going to watch it as soon as I uploaded this video. I'm super excited for that. The first Avatar movie is still currently my favorite sci-fi movie, with Star Trek First Contact closely follows. I've seen some negative online reviews talk about how the first movie wasn't really engaging during the first half, but that's definitely not me. The moment I saw the Valkyrie shuttle undocks above Pandora and descends and breaks through the atmosphere, that was it. That was my favorite film no matter what. That's how much I love the shuttle design. And it really was the vehicle and environmental designs that made the movie for me. From the Avatar 2 trailer, we can already see many new RDA vehicles. I really look forward to seeing them in action. And I think it depends on what I saw, I might step by step make a massive Pandora base diorama in 1 to 400 scale. I really hope to see the Valkyrie shuttles again and the Venture Star too, which wasn't shown in the trailer. While I'm playing the time-lapse, I want to do a quick channel update. So currently I have 4 ongoing projects. One of them is the James Webb Space Telescope. The Sun Shield is just about the biggest obstacle I ever faced when it comes to 3D printing. I had so many failures, but I was finally able to print it. In order to achieve this print, I even invested in a Formlab printer, which is probably the most expensive thing I bought for a hobby. Now I'm just waiting for some custom ordered photo etch parts to arrive to finish the build. I'm also about to finish a Star Citizenship commission, the RSI Orion. It's a highly detailed model. I think I'm gonna use this chance to do a comparison between my current Anycubic printer and the Formlab printer. You've probably seen this comparison done before, but probably not from a sci-fi modeler's perspective, which involves lots of intricate details. I'm also doing a commission of a Star Trek ship, it's the Oberth class, but it's been redesigned into the Kelvin timeline style by Daniel Broadway. It's a super sleek ship and it will be fully lighted. And finally, I have quite a few kits of 1 to 700 scale ships I want to complete, especially the USS Enterprise, which has been sitting in my shelf for too long. So that's about for my current projects. And of course I also want to build a massive Pandora base with all the cool ships parked inside. I have quite a bit of free time now to model, so you guys can expect more videos coming soon to this channel. So this here you see is actually a test print, which I printed right after I made the files. I was so surprised at how well it turned out, so I used it for the actual build. The cleanup process might be slightly more interesting than your usual 3D prints. And by interesting I mean a lot more difficult. I can promise you, it's not my intention to make the build more difficult. I've done this so most of the support knobs are in areas that are not visible on the outside of the model, which means the process down the line will be a lot easier. I think this is really important on smaller models, as you want to minimize putty use and sanding as much as possible to avoid damaging details. Here's one thing you shouldn't do, printing everything on a single raft. This will make getting the parts off a nightmare. It might look to you I'm doing fine cutting them, but in reality the print is brittle and it's easy to cause a crack between the actual parts. Because the parts are so small, they should still be grouped with 1 or 2 other objects to make the IPA washing process a bit easier, but no more than that. The build overall is pretty simple, quite similar to building a tank model, except for the part where I had to hand paint the rotor tips with my shaky hands. There wasn't a lot of challenges, so I'll just let you enjoy the rest of the video. I should mention I glued everything before painting because I felt confident handling it. A much safer method is to glue the fans and landing gears after painted, as they are very easy to break. Oh, and remember to print extra wheels for the carpet. Please leave a comment, and if you're giving this build a try, let me know how it went. I hope you enjoy videos like this one. Merry Christmas, and I should be back soon with more videos.